Hello everyone, and welcome to my DOL official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Victor's accusations escalate, and Nick faces a brutal attack. The Young and the Restless spoilers for July 28th to August 1st, 2025 see Victor Newman accusing and Nick Newman being attacked. As we always do on early edition day, we begin with what's coming up for the rest of this week and then move on to what's happening next week. Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor accuses and Nick faces danger in July episodes. On Wednesday, July 23rd, Nikki Newman and Victor are concerned about Nick and Sharon Newman's questionable home arrest. Nikki suspects that Kane Ashby has put up an elaborate trap for them. Kyle Abbott is listening in on Nikki and Victor's conversation about Carter's strange behavior. Kyle approaches Victor and declares, "Game over." He adds, "I know what you and Audra Charles were up to." Of course, Victor denies and pretends stupid. Kyle says he loves Claire Grace Newman and that will not change. Nikki appears disturbed. Victor claims that all he cares about is discovering the culprit and releasing Nick from custody. Young and the Restless spoilers. Kyle lashed out at Victor. Kyle warns that when they return to Genoa City, things will change. He's finished seeking Victor's approval. He'll be moving in with Claire and claims Victor can't stop them. Of course, Victor swears that he will stop Kyle and storms out. Kyle turns around and tells Nikki that he hopes she was not involved in Victor and Audra's nasty ploy. Nikki is outraged and assures him that she would never do something like that. Kyle believes her. Obviously, Nikki is upset that Victor did what Kyle claims. I'm confident that when Nikki confronts Victor, he will either deny or justify. When he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar, he does these two things. Victor finds Chance Chancellor and informs him that Kane has placed Nick and Sharon under home arrest. Chance isn't pleased with that. He believes that is not cool. Victor wants them gone and then goes heavy-handed, telling Chance to warn Kane that he'll pay for it on the Young and the Restless. Chance claims Carter's alibi for the murder is suspect because he said he was awakened by the ruckus. But the groundskeeper claims Carter was awake and about on the property. Victor believes Carter is covering up Kane's activities, but Chance wonders if Carter is the real killer. Young and the Restless spoilers. Amanda is suspicious of Kane. Amanda Sinclair notices Kane reviewing security footage in the monitoring room. She hopes he isn't deleting any, and he wonders if Amanda did because some film is missing. Kane claims someone is out to get him, and they removed footage that could have proven his innocence. Amanda asks if he killed Damien and then erased it. She does not believe the Genoa City residents would have done it. Kane states, "No, of course I didn't kill Damien, but the problem is I can't prove it because the footage is missing." He wonders whether Nick wiped the video, but Amanda believes the camera glitched. In addition, Nick is unaware of the monitoring room or how to gain access to it. Young and Restless spoilers. Kane cooks up a plan. Kane ultimately admits that it doesn't appear likely. Amanda encourages him to release Sharon and Nick out of jail. Kane says he'll talk to Chance and consider letting them out. Kane also wonders if he can use Nick's arrest as leverage to get Chancellor, given that Victor has already accused him of doing it. So why not just act on that assumption? Nick comforts Sharon. She's coming down from a panic attack. They suspect this is part of some broader scheme by Kane. Nick is hunting for a way out, kicking doors, going through belongings and finding something to break them out. They find a bottle of champagne, and Nick removes the metal twisting top, asking Sharon to try to pick the lock like she did at the clinic with Phyllis Summers.
Young and the Restless spoilers. Lily is in turmoil. Audra discovers Lily Winters in the maze. Of course, she is still very sad about Damien. They discuss breaking the terrible murder news to Nate Hastings and Amy Lewis. They know it's going to be horrible. Audra and Lily are startled by a noise, but it turns out to be Phyllis lurking and eavesdropping. She claims she is listening in order to spare their lives and figure out who the true culprit is. According to Lily, Kane is the true killer. He's the only one with a reason to want Damien dead. Audra believes Phyllis is attempting to save Kane for selfish reasons, but Phyllis believes both Kane and Nick are innocent, and there is another killer on the property that they should all be concerned about. Young and Restless spoilers. Lily looks at Kane. Then she mentions additional guests who are killers. Lily tries to say, "This is a different thing," because, ironically, she is one of those killers. She killed Hillary and her unborn child. She was imprisoned for it. Now, I don't believe she should have gone to prison for that, but she did. Lily believes Kane did not call the local cops because he would be arrested. Phyllis claims Kane had no idea Lily and Damien were involved before they arrived, therefore this could not have been planned. But Lily believes Kane was spying on her. There's a whole bunch of that. Phyllis claims that Lily is simply being emotional and not thinking straight. Audra does not like Phyllis, but she agrees. So Lily is upset with Audra. Intense interrogations and failed escape attempts in the July 24th episodes of Young and the Restless. On Thursday, July 24th, Carter is summoned into the rail car, where Victor and Chance question her about Damien's murder. Victor is still certain that Kane committed this and believes Carter covered up Damien's murder for his boss. Carter claims he didn't do it, but Chance suspects Carter is the real killer. Let's see how the interrogation goes. He's a fantastic choice for the killer because he's a random they can simply get rid of. Nick's escape plot is a complete failure. Sharon may pick the lock, but he is either attacked or does something stupid and wounds himself since he becomes bloody and injured pretty quickly. Jack Abbott faces a difficult decision regarding Billy Abbott. Drama and dangerous decisions, Young and the Restless, July 25th to August 1st spoilers. On Friday, July 25th, Sally, Spectra and Billy assisted in the treatment of Nick's bloody wound. They're all in the storage area alongside Sharon and Nick. Someone has backed Nikki into a corner. It may be Kane, who says, "Sell me, Chancellor, and I'll let Nick out." Victor isn't playing around and decides to take matters into his own hands. I wonder whether he will confront Kane directly. From July 28th to August 1st, early spoilers show Billy enraged at what older brother Jack decided. I believe this has something to do with Abbott Com. Billy claims that Kane can simply buy you out without having spoken with the man. Young and the Restless spoilers, Jack has had enough. Jack may simply say, "You know what? I'm tired of gambling. I'm tired of Billy's lousy decisions," and pulls the plug, thereby killing the company. There is no buyout, nothing. There is no company. Kyle will be conflicted about when to reveal Audra and Victor's scheme. Kyle may postpone their return to Genoa City because Claire is mourning the loss of her father, Cole. But I know Kyle will come around to their moving in together, and that's when he'll rat Victor out. I expect Victor to strive to outperform Kyle. Victor goes to Claire Grace and makes some charges against Audra and Kyle. Audra is worried. She has to be there for Nate, who has lost his sibling. She is also aware that Kyle may reveal her seduction strategy, therefore she will most likely try to get ahead of it. I'm betting Victor will try a chess move. Lily is really struggling. She is still grieving Damien's loss and is concerned about telling Amy and Nate. Nick is very furious. Young and the Restless spoilers, Nick rages. After getting harmed, he will be even more enraged and out of control. More lives are at risk as the killer lurks. Josh Griffith, the chief writer, stated that the main characters are in danger. Yes, he is dangerous, but I seriously doubt he will kill anyone. If anyone, I'd say there's a chance because Chance has left and we're getting close to his last episodes. However, they can just put him on the back burner and never acknowledge his departure. You know how they treat people. They're like, "Oh, people will just forget." Billy and Phyllis plan and get closer. Carter will face increased scrutiny next week. Kane wants to protect Lily because he knows the killer is on the loose, but she believes it is him. Devin Hamilton promises to safeguard Lily and shut down Kane. Victoria Newman and Claire are concerned about their family because the Newman and Kyle have not communicated. Sally wonders if she should back away from Billy. Stop the Sharon captivity stories, can she break the kidnapping curse? According to teasers from The Young and the Restless, many viewers want the show to cease telling stories of Sharon Newman's captivity. Can this character end the kidnapping curse? Sharon Case is a superb actor who can play a wide range of tales, but she's been trapped in the same one lately. Sharon has been kept against her will several times in recent months. First, Sharon became Jordan's captive in the sewer, which gave her a nightmare. The next kidnapping occurred when Sharon was locked up with Phyllis Summers in the old psychiatric clinic, where they were forced to play Martin Lawrence mind games. Sharon and Nick Newman are currently under house arrest at Kane Ashby's estate, but we should call it what it is: they are being held hostage. Sharon experienced so much kidnapping trauma that she had a panic attack in the storage room. It's apparent that Sharon's captivity experiences are catching up with her and taking a mental toll. Of course, a good hostage narrative can be entertaining on occasion, but is Y&R going too far with Sharon's continuous kidnappings? It's starting to feel way too repetitive at this point, and many viewers have complained on social media. Soaps have a plethora of other cliches to draw from, so it would be wonderful to see more variation for Sharon moving forward. Sharon might certainly end up in a situation that does not include being imprisoned. When Sharon's recent imprisonment episode is ended, she might want to think about her romantic future. If viewers are prepared to allow Nick and Sharon to reconnect, the program may finally give them what they desire. Sharon, on the other hand, may grow tired of attempting to break free from the friend zone, and if that happens, she may finally go on with another man. It would be interesting to see Sharon fall in love and have a new beginning. Regardless, let us hope Sharon has some great adventures ahead of her that do not include being kept hostage. It's time for Sharon to end the kidnapping curse and discover new sources of drama. There is more to Nick and Sharon's situation than meets the eye. Nick and Sharon are in a terrifying scenario as Kane's assistant and security guard lock them up in a dilapidated room. As awful as the situation appears to be, there is more to it than meets the eye. We were honestly surprised that Nick didn't fight harder to avoid being imprisoned. Especially when Sharon was kidnapped alongside him and had only recently escaped Martin Lawrence's clutches. While Nick would surely be able to defeat Kane's geeky assistant in a fight, the goon possessed a gun, so what are you going to do? Carter arrests Nick and everyone else, CBS YR. Interestingly, Jack and Diane chose not to act when they observed Nick and Sharon being carried away at gunpoint. Probably wise on their part, but also curious given that this is a soap opera and powerful men like the Abbott are prone to putting themselves in dangerous situations. After some protests, Carter pushed Sharon and Nick into a musty tiny room in the chateau and closed the door from the outside. After Nick's fruitless door pounding and yelling, the pair realized they were completely stuck. They tried to console themselves by promising each other that Jack and Diane would notify the others and Victor would move heaven and earth to release them, but a traumatized Sharon being confined will definitely exacerbate the situation and force Nick to go all caveman. Nick, Sharon, Y&R. There is more to their circumstance than meets the eye, or should we say less? That's right, soaps readers, Schick isn't as terrible off as it appears. In fact, they might have walked out of the closet-sized slammer moments after being put inside. Sharon, Nick, Y&R. How, you may ask? Nick and Sharon, as well as the set designers, appear to have overlooked the fact that the hinges are on the inside of the door. As this young and restless viewer pointed out, escaping would be fairly simple. Nick is injured, Victor is furious, and Carter is being interrogated. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Thursday, July 24, 2025. Fans might expect Victor Newman and Chance Chancellor to become wary of Carter. Meanwhile, Nick Newman is hurt while attempting to flee. Continue reading, and let's discuss what's coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. Victor Newman's interrogation. Let's start with Victor, who has been following Carter about. Carter placed Nick and Sharon Newman under home arrest by confining them in a storage room. They haven't found a way out yet, but it's becoming clear that Carter did something to Nick and Sharon. This includes Victor, who will be demanding answers. Chance and Victor will likely sit Carter down for a brief conversation. The assistant acknowledges that he will do anything for Aristotle Dumas/Kane Ashby. Instead of interrogating Amanda Sinclair, he should challenge Carter. That's probably who deleted the video footage. Read more, find out what happened in the last episode of Y&R. Carter's excuse. Carter will insist that he did not kill Damian Kane. Victor's main goal at this point is to get his son out of captivity. Having said that, Carter may refuse to tell Chance and Victor where he keeps Schick. Nick Newman injured. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, July 24th hint that Nick will attempt to flee. Knowing Nick, he might try to break down the door himself and get hurt in the process. In any case, Nick injures his side. Sharon will attempt to treat Nick's injuries, but someone unexpected will intervene. That individual is none other than Sally Spectra. Billy Abbott will eventually become involved in the chaos as well. No matter what Billy does to assist, Jack Abbott has a difficult decision. Based on how Billy deceived Jack about the true purpose of Abbott Communications, it appears that his losses may continue. Read this, The Young and the Restless spoilers, Josh Griffith discusses France storyline finale and upcoming twists. Thursday, July 24, 2025. Meanwhile, Billy and Phyllis Summers will continue their efforts to clear Kane's name. Billy and Phyllis have a habit of going too far. While their intentions make sense, there is a mysterious killer roaming the estate. Kane stated his workers went down the mountain to seek assistance. However, that appears to have occurred several days ago. Where are the police, and what happened to the staff?